So today's tip, I just wanted to really show you what feathering is with regards to selections. And we have somebody's face here, and I'm going to use the lasso tool up the top here to do a selection of this. Now, there's a feathering setting on the bar at the top here, you'll notice, and that's currently set to 0 pixels. So I'm going to go around here, and I'm going to simply select around the mouth area. Pretty rough selection using the lasso tool. There we go. And I have a selection there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy that to a new layer. So you can either hit Control or Command J, or you can go to Layer, New, and do a new layer via copy there. And that brings up a new layer. You'll notice over on the right-hand side in my layers panel, I now have 2 layers. I have the original, which has got all the image on there, and then I have the new layer with just the mouth on there. And what I want to do, just to demonstrate this difference, is I'm going to do a free transform on that layer. So the free transform, make sure you have that layer selected, and either hit Control or Command T, or go into the edit menu and down to free transform here. And you'll see the handles appear, and I can now resize that and make the mouth bigger. Now, on the new versions of Photoshop, you don't have to hold down the shift key anymore to constrain the proportions there, so I'll make it bigger. And it looks ridiculous. And what I'm trying to emphasize here is when you look in here, especially if you zoom in, you can see there's a real hard stop there between the edge of the selection where it touches the existing mouth. It just stops dead. This is kind of an instant, stop dead on that selection. And you can see there, it looks like a cutout. This one actually looks a lot better than most that you do this with, but you can see the kind of cutout effect around there. Let's just do something similar again. I'm not suggesting this is the tool you would use for this particular job, but it's just to give you an idea. We'll go back over to the lasso tool. And this time we'll go to the top here and we'll change that feathering setting to something like, let's say, 5 pixels. And go down here and do the same selection again. So I'm just going to tab out of there. And we'll go down here and do the same kind of selection again. Go around here. Got the selection. I'm going to copy it to a new layer using those same commands, and then we'll free transform it. I'm now going to drag it out. And what you should see is it blends in a lot better with the existing areas. And the reason it blends in a lot better with the existing areas is you have this feathering effect on the edge. So if I zoom in here, it's actually quite a lot harder to tell where the edge is there. It's no longer quite as hard an edge on there. You can't really tell as easily. And the reason for that is the feathering I mentioned. Now, if I just pop in a new solid colour here, and we'll put a blue colour in there and just drag it in between these two, you'll see the difference. Down here, you can see this feathering around the edge. And what it's effectively doing is, when it gets to the edge, it's not just stopping dead, it's disappearing over 5 pixels. So the opacity effectively is increasing there over 5 pixels. To the point where it's completely opaque, and you've then got this kind of gradual blend out on the edges of this fading out on the edges, rather than just a sharp edge. To give you that comparison, doing the same thing again on the sharp edge, let's just go back and do that again so we can really see it on there. If I go in here with the lasso tool, set it back to 0 pixels again, do that same selection again around the edge, roughly. And then copy it to a new layer. And we'll just drag it up above this one and turn that back on. Can you see the difference on the edge there? So that edge now, it's a real sharp edge where it just stops dead on 1 pixel. You'll lose that kind of gradual blending out that we had previously when the feathering was turned on. So that's really where feathering comes in when you're working on selection tools like that. If you want a selection that's got a nice soft edge on it and isn't going to kind of look so harsh, then the feathering can be a really useful one to enable up there, for example, on the lasso tool.